Okay, another Greenskin game. Once again, I've got Skarsnik with his beat squad, couple giants. Let's go to the centerpiece of my army. Front line of boys, supported by a black orc big boss. He gives a nice AoE melee attack buff and leadership. So he likes to stick with the infantry and get stuck in with the boys, as they say. Of course, my range line, couple Night Goblin archer groups, including the ROR, Doom Divers for anti-artillery and anti-large, and then also the Orc Boy Biggin ROR, the Broken Tusks mob for anti-large, and just kind of be some roaming cab support. This is a fantastic unit. Definitely usually gets its value back pretty good. And then I've got a Night Goblin Shaman with a buff spell and the Vindictive Glare magic missile spell. My opponent, Wizard Lord, with probably too many spells, front line of infantry, spears and halberds, and then a back line of iron hail gunners and artillery. He's got 2 grand cannon groups and a rocket group, and then 3 Jade Lancer cav groups. So let's get started here. We'll see how I did. First thing I notice, their artillery opens up, which kind of spooks me a bit. I'm like, all right, I got to get my infantry moving in, because if they just sit here and get shot at, you know, they're not going to be doing much. So better to just get them in there, get them fighting instead of just getting shot and doing nothing. And then I notice, obviously, the cav group on my flank, and I realize they're probably going to be wanting to try to go after the Doom Divers, which have started returning fire on the artillery. I really want to get those cannons down, especially because those cannons, if they're blown, can shred my giants pretty good. So I move my Orc Boy Biggins to intercept his cav, and luckily for me, he keeps them all bunched up in one group, so I can intercept the whole group with just the one unit, and then I just start spraying them down with my archer line, and then move my giants and Skarsnik in. I think I used Skarsnik to buff, Spite of the Bad Moon on my Orc Boy Biggins, so they do even more anti-large damage for a while. And you can see these Jade Lancers are not liking that, especially once the giants get in there. They just start getting shredded. So Doom Divers continue to fire. My opponent's kind of shoring up his front line as the boys get in there with the big boss. I notice my Night Goblin Shaman, he has stalk, which means he's invisible until enemy units get close. And I wanted to kind of get him on the flank to maybe shoot some magic missiles into these lines or at the artillery. He notices them and I have to kind of fall back. But luckily, he shells the shit out of his own halberdier, so I'm like, all right, I'll take that trade. Meanwhile, my Boar Boys have chased off the enemy cav, and I stay really worried about them. I really want to protect my Doom Divers. And honestly, I probably overcommit a little bit worrying about them. I probably could have got Skarsnik in a little earlier, but it works out in the end. So I realize they regroup. They're trying to probably curve into the Doom Divers, so I get the my Boar Boys back on them, and I believe I rampage one of these groups here too with Skarsnik, which keeps the Doom Divers free. My infantry groups still in the fight, but starting to get shredded. Yeah, there's that rampage. So Skarsnik grabs those, back into the giants they go. Big damage. God, I love that rampage spell. And the my Boar Boys are handling the other groups. Again, he keeps these guys really grouped up. He could have had this group kind of go in wider around to the Doom Divers, but fine by me. Doom Divers continue to shell the enemy artillery. The rockets are down and most of the cannons are down. He just has the one group left, and they are not long for the world once the Doom Divers start focusing on them. So the cav groups are pretty much all shredded, so I'm like, all right, we can get Skarsnik in. I think I dodge a spell cast there. Yeah, pretty lucky. I think I had started to move these guys even before he had casted, so it wasn't like a super heads up play. It was mostly just luck, but I'll take it. Boar boys continue to just shred that cab to protect my doom divers, and again, my so now my infantry front line is pretty much completely shredded, including my big boss. They've held for quite a while, but now I bring up my archers to start shredding his infantry in return. And again, he's playing really conservatively, staying back, so I'm like, okay, I can just shell you. And once those cannons start firing, I'm like, all right, I need to get Skarsnik and the giants in. I keep worrying about these cab. I think, in fact, one more time I move this group back, and I really didn't need to, but I am totally focused on this lord at this point. I'm like, all right, Skarsnik and the giants, we're gonna move in. We're going to rampage that wizard, and as you'll see, 2 giants beating on a pretty squishy wizard. It doesn't take long for them to just go splat. There's 1 hit, 2 hits. Yeah, the damage is insane. The wizard is not digging that. They're falling back. I think it's just 1 more hit. Splat! Yep, there it goes. Definitely worth it. So the enemy lord is dead. Their leadership is debuffed. And then you have a couple giants pushing into these lines. Giants have caused terror. So in addition to the lord being dead with the terror and everything, these lines just immediately crumble. And that's pretty much all she wrote. What really won me this game, probably my Orc Boy Biggins being able to stem off his cav, and the just again Skarsnik's beat squad with Rampage. It just always comes through for me. It's one of my favorite combos. Skarsnik didn't do much himself, but again, he's not always there for damage. Just being able to rampage stuff is so strong, and then the giants just kind of take care of it. I didn't really need to get a lot of value out of anything, because I chased off basically half his army. It was like a leadership route. His gunners did pretty good, but I managed to suppress his artillery. They didn't really get to do a whole lot other than shell their own unit that one time. But again, Skarsnik, just, he rules. I love him. And yeah, Greenskins, really fun. Just a solid play defensively, I think, on my part. So again, thanks for watching, and on to the next one.